What up, dudes? Back with another breakdown. This is a great moment. Chris Taylor leading off the Dodgers' first World Series in quite some time, right? And he's going to greet Dallas Keuchel with a big huh! Chapow! I mean, that ball is absolutely tater-totted. He knew it off the bat. Incredible swing. And Jock Peterson, he's losing his mind. So I'm just trying to find that slow motion. Oh, there it is. We'll get back through it. So, again, we're kind of looking at the miss, and we'll see it again from the front because we're not really getting a great angle. This is good, though, right? So we get right here. So we just saw that ball was inside, right? I tell guys all the time, you got to turn a lot more than you think while you pull this baseball, right? And he is really turning, and he's not really extending his hands until really late. Do you guys see that? Like, he's really not extending. He's pretty turned right there. Like, he's pretty well turned. That ball squared up. And I wouldn't even say, once I see it, let's see where he rolls over. He's still kind of palm up. He's doing a really good job of not rolling over. And I kind of roll over is once this top hand takes over, like it's really not taking over. He's level right there. Like his thumbs are relatively level. Once that top thumb ends up on top of the left thumb or right thumb, if you're your bottom hand, that's when you roll over. And we'll smell you baseball. So let's go back to when Dallas Keuchel was still alive. So he's got a big leg kick. So look at that. And this is one thing that I've been talking about with a lot of our guys. Like, you guys have to do speed and agility training because the idea, Chris Taylor's hella fast, right? And one of the things that you create when it's a lot of speed development is the idea of hip up, hip down. That action right there. Literally this. The idea of a leg kick is that you're trying to time up the pitcher. But here's another thing, guys. Once you pick up that front leg, you're making your right leg heavy. If you can quickly make your front leg heavy without losing your balance and then make a turn like this guy does, like he's making his front leg hella heavy. And what I mean by heavy is where's your weight in this position, right? It's on your right leg because your left leg is off the ground. There's no weight put on it. It is weightless. Right? So there's only one leg that's heavy. And the weight that's heavy in that leg is going to relieve itself right there. That weight, that leg is not as heavy as that leg, especially because gravity's coming down. And once he puts his foot down, wham, he's going to start to access that hip. Now, he closes himself off hella hard with his foot. Maybe I'm being critical because I just had some coffee, so I'm a little fired up. But like you can see that foot breaks there. And I don't think that that's a negative thing. There's the step over, weird. And I think that getting your foot up this high, like you're coming down with so much pressure. You should open your foot up to allow yourself to get into your hip. Because remember how we were talking, excuse me guys, remember how we were talking about that front knee like swiveling, right? Let's take a look at that front knee. Boom. See how it opens up? That's him using his hips. And he gets a little vertical here on contact. No, he doesn't. That was just the moment that I was looking at that. Just that angle. Let's watch it from here. No, he stays down on that ball. Bro, that ball was crushed. It's like a 450-foot home run. That ball was crushed. He's got mad pop, dude. Now, this, in my opinion, I'm not a big fan of, right? That high elbow position. Because you can't do this against high velo guys, right? Because if that ball's up here in the strike zone, you're going to get smoked. Like this whole top layer of the strike zone, that's owned by guys that throw, 95 plus. So you got to be on time for that pitch later in the count, right? But Dallas Keuchel tops out like 90, right? He's a spin guy. So you know that the ball's going to end up down. So he's setting himself up super tilted down because he knows what to expect. This dude's not going to gas me up unless it's late in the count. He doesn't have the fastball to beat me if I'm wrong guessing location. So I can just pretty much set my shoulders tilted hella down and just try to go Yahtzee. That's what he does here. And let's look at this shape. Let's back that up. There we go with that shape again, guys. If you've been watching my videos, there's a consistent idea, and I talked about it in my Carlos Beltran video, right? And I'll keep talking about it. And I also got to develop it. It's kind of just an idea right now. But it's the idea that this tilted position before he bails onto his foot, kind of like there, right? This tilted position, that's a really strong idea of what a bow is, because then the bat's the corner, right? But you're setting a body bow, but you're not doing it with tension. Like, he's probably so loosey-goosey in this moment. Also, shout out to Larry King. What up, Larry? R.I.P. There is so much relaxed elasticity in the strength of his swing. And he's not a big guy. Like, you guys remember how they showed the size of his arms in this little slow-mo video, right? Like, he's not a big cat. Like, look at that. He's not bulging with muscle. He's an athlete. He's a utility player. But the bend is what we're talking about. And he's bending, right? He's whipping his body, right? You can see the length of his ribs on this side, and he's compressing his ribs on this side. That's the idea, right? If you've been coming to TPC and you understand the strength of your swing comes from the stretch of that knob. Low elbow, high elbow, switches positions. Look how quick that elbow got down, dude. That's pretty incredible. Like, his elbow was up here. In 1 millisecond, he got it down there. In half a millisecond, that ball was out of the ballpark. Right? So a millisecond and a half. I shouldn't say that. 0.15 milliseconds. That's what it takes for you to go from foot down, and that's heel down. And look how that happens. Boom. Boom. When you're on time, that's how it should work. It should be that heel goes down and that heel comes up. You know what I'm saying, guys? Y'all feel me? Y'all know what I mean? So, we got stretch. He's going to get that back elbow from up to down, and then that front elbow is going to stay relatively close to his chest. So does his forearm. I mean, that ball is hit so dang hard. Boom. And he launched that too. Like, he hit that a mile. Let's watch that one more time. Apologies. Oh, dude, he missed way in on that. That was probably a cutter. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed it. Like and subscribe. Keep fighting the good fight of trying to put barrels on the ball. Later, guys.